Hey guys, what's up? This is the boy who had 7. So today we're going to continue on our quest to find the soul gems. Where in the universe are the other 5? Well, today we're going to find out where one more is. If you remember the last video, Thanos was able to outsmart and outfox the in-betweener and literally pluck the soul gem from his forehead. After he does that, Death shows up and she's like, I like what you're doing. You have my continued blessing. Go ahead and go find some more. And so Thanos is on his way now to the planet of Tamarata, and he's looking for this guy, the champion. Guys, this guy's name is Trico Slaughterus. Listen to that name, Try to Slaughter Us. Yes, that is an awesome name, and yes, he can live up to that name. So what we see in his comic book past is that he goes throughout the universe to different planets, and he finds the strongest fighters on those planets. He challenges them to a duel. Once he bests them, and he always does, he self-proclaims himself the champion. So as you see him right there with all those muscles, what's the strongest thing about him is that gem right on his forehead. Yes, that is an infinity gem, and it is the power gem. And that is what this video is all about, the power gem and how Thanos gets it. Now, let me give you a little bit of history on the champion. The very first time that we get to see him is a really awesome comic. I would recommend you jump on Amazon or wherever and pick up a copy of this digitally, or if you can find one in the store, it'd be great to own. The very thing that he does is he sends one of his helpers to Earth, and he tells him, find the strongest guys there, I want to fight him. And so this is the first time we get to hear from the champion. And so his helper goes to Earth, and he picks out these guys. He's got Thor, Hulk, The Thing, Namor, Sasquatch, Wonder Man, Dr. Samson. I mean, this guy picks out some of the strongest heroes, and he says, the champion wants to battle you, let's do this. And so what they do is the champion challenges them to a boxing match at Madison Square Garden. How hilarious is that? So before the boxing match actually begins, he disqualifies a bunch of them. He disqualifies Thor for swinging Mjolnir. He disqualifies the Hulk for being an animal that can't think. He disqualifies Dr. Samson because he says, you're not even worthy to fight me. And so when he finally gets into the ring, he knocks out Sasquatch with one punch. He beats up on Colossus. And the last guy that's able to fight him is The Thing. Really awesome. That's why you see The Thing here with the boxing gloves on. This is what happens. They begin round 1, and The Thing is doing as good as he can. He's hitting him. He's getting some shots in. And then the champion gets real. And this is something that we see in this book, in Thanos Quest book number 1, about the champion, is that because he has the power gem, he can tap into that power the more he gets angry. And so he just starts to beat up on the Thing in the first round. And he's gloating like, no one ever passes the second round. No one's ever gone 2 rounds with me. And so the Thing starts going in the second round, and the champion gets super serious, and he starts beating on him. He literally starts breaking rock and breaking bone and just beating the snot out of the Thing. But the Thing makes it through the whole round, and in the third round, the champion gets even angrier and beats him even worse to where he's on the floor. He's almost gonna die. And this is a really cool part, guys. The Thing crawls over on the boxing ring to the champion, and he grabs him, and he's like, do you yield? And the champion pretty much has a choice to make here. He either kills Thing or he yields. And at this point, it is really cool because he tells him, you know what? I can break your bones, I can break your body, but I can never break your spirit. And so the champion actually yields, guys. He yields to the Thing. The Thing did not want the earth to be destroyed, and so he gives it all that he has, and because of his spirit, the champion allows him to live, and the champion actually yields, and he tells the Thing, I have been waiting for centuries and years to find someone as awesome as you. If this earth can produce champions like you, then I'm not going to destroy this earth. And if I ever see you again, I'll allow you a second match, which I would never do to anybody else. And so the Thing saves the day. That's the first time we get to see the champion. Really cool story. Guys, pick it up and read it. It'll pull at your heartstrings. Pretty awesome. So Thanos shows up and he finds this guy. And this guy is on this planet Tamarata. And it's a planet that's important to surrounding planets because it's like a strategic stronghold. And so it's been conquered and conquered and conquered, and it continues to be conquered, kind of like Israel in the Middle East. All these years, people needed this planet so they could have their trade and all that stuff happen. So the champion goes here because he's always seeing all this fighting, and he just fights everybody. He just beats up on everybody that conquers this world, and he loves doing it. That's what he likes to do. And Thanos finds him, and Thanos is sitting there like, hey, when you're through with those children, come and talk to me. And the champion's like, who are you? And he's like, my name is Thanos, and I'm here for this planet. And then the champion's like, oh yeah, well, if you want this planet, you've got to go through me. And Thanos says, that's exactly what I'm here for, to find a good fight, and I'm ready to beat up on you. And so the champion turns his attention to Thanos. He races at him and swings at him, and look at Thanos, guys. He moves out of the way, grabs him by the hair, and throws him to the ground. The champion pops up, not even hurt, and he's like, oh yeah, you want to mess with the champion? Let's go. And gets a little angrier. And so they have this little battle here that you see on these pictures, and the champion is all about brute strength and trying to use his muscle to overpower his enemy. Well, if you guys have been paying attention to my last 4 videos, we know that Thanos, yes, he's got brute strength, and yes, he's got power, but Thanos is all about the mind. He's all about tricking and outfoxing his opponents. And so he's working up the champion and making him angrier and angrier. And he keeps throwing him into the ground and stepping out of the way and moving. And finally the champion is just super angry that Thanos blasts him with his blasts from his hands. And you see the champion here is just like going through it. It's not even hurting his body anymore because he's getting so angry and he's gathering so much power from that gem. And finally at the end, Thanos just, right when they're about to touch, he releases his blast and just boom, uppercuts the champion. And now the champion is angry. He flies at Thanos just to end him with one punch, and Thanos pulls up his barrier. He's got this invisible force field, and the champion's like, oh yeah, you're gonna use all these tricks. You're not a real champion. You're not a real fighter. I've seen this happen before, and I'm gonna break through. And so he starts pounding on it. And look at Thanos. Thanos actually says, oh my goodness, this is power that I'm not used to. He's got this amazing power. He's gonna break through my force field. And all of a sudden the champion stops. And he's like, that's it. I'm just going to destroy you. I am sick and tired of you. And he flings himself, jumps into the air, flies up into space. He turns around, and with all the power of gravity, he comes flying down at Thanos. And right at the last second before he punches Thanos, what does Thanos do? He teleports out of the way. The champion flies into the ground and punches it, causing all kinds of seismic volcanoes, earthquakes. And look at what he does. He literally, with the punch of one fist, destroys the entire planet of Tamarada. And look, he is floating out in space, still alive, in the rubble. This guy is powerful, guys. How many comic book characters do you see able to destroy a planet with a punch? That's how powerful he is. It's so beautiful, the writing here, because somebody that powerful could punch Thanos and probably knock him out. And yet, Thanos is still winning because of this muscle, the brain. It's crazy. I love this writing, Jim Starlin. So good. So, we see him floating out in space. Thanos teleports behind him, and the guy is like, hey, I'll battle you to your teleportation throne. And Thanos is like, why would I do that? And he's like, for the fight, for the battle. And Thanos is like, no, thanks. I'm not interested. And so Thanos is like, well, I'll see you later. And the champion's like, well, I won. I'm the champion. I won. And Thanos is like, no, you really didn't. You destroyed the planet we were fighting after, and I'm kind of bored now, so I'll see you later. And then all of a sudden, he realizes, the champion, I'm floating in the middle of space. I can't fly. I'm going to be stuck here. And so he's like, hey, wait, no, don't leave. Please don't leave. And Thanos is like, what? What do you want? And he's like, help me. Take me to a planet or something. And Thanos is like, okay, but I'll do it for a price. And the champion's like, well, what's the price? And he says, that soul gem on your forehead. And the champion's like, no way. Someone else will come by and they'll help me out. And Thanos is like, yeah, someone else is going to come by and remember how arrogant you are, and they're going to leave you floating out in space. But you know what? No worries. You're immortal. You may get boring after a couple centuries, but you'll be okay. You're not going to die out here. And so the guy's like, oh, darn it. He realizes the predicament he's in. He thinks that the soul gem has zero power. It doesn't work. He literally just wears it as decoration, and it's a good luck charm. So he pops it off his forehead, flicks it over to Thanos, and just like that, Thanos has his second soul gem. He has the gem of power. So he keeps his word. He uses his teleportation throne to shoot out a tractor beam. It catches the champion in its wake. He goes to another planet, and then all of a sudden he just lets the champion go. And the champion's like, "What are you doing?" And Thanos is like, "I always keep my word, but I never talked about a nice soft landing." And so he shoots the champion towards this planet. And this is where we have this idea that I want to bring up really quickly. He says, "You know what? You are immortal, but immortality has its limits." And this is the first time that we get to hear that. Immortality has its limits. You're probably going to die when you hit the ground. That's really important because in the next video that we make, we're going to see how immortality can be tested. And so now Thanos looks down at these gems and he says to himself, "You know what? Only this gem is really worthy to be called the soul gem. So I'm going to change the name to the Infinity Gems." And that is how they become the Infinity Gems instead of the soul gems, because he found out about them staring into the Infinity Well. And so that is it, guys. Thanos now has the soul gem and the power gem. He's renamed them to the Infinity Gems. He is on his way next to fight the Gardener, and we will talk about him in the next video. Please, guys, comment down below. Let me know what you think. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate you all watching this video. Have a good one. Talk to you later.